dollars I go spend for your head. Talk on it once, I don't care what you said, cause your matter. Now him I want to carry for my head every night. Now you I want to carry to my bed. Oh, lo, lo. Don't tell me no, no, no. You could be my partner, never riding solo, lo. And we can do, I'm lucky, no need to party, oh. I feel like what you're doing, oh yeah, baby, carry go. Carry go, oh, la. Your body never can be shit.
My name is Purity Osura and I'm in the Gabriel Show. Here we are going to discuss many things, the trending things, politics and everything that affects the society. So you like, subscribe and share, comment. Thank you.
I hope you are well, and this is yet another day. Welcome to the Gabriel TV, and today I'm discussing something special about sports in Maseno University. And here I'm seated with the head coach of White Kings and also one of the organizers of MSL. MSL means Maseno Soccer League, Mr. Godwin. Welcome to the Gabriel TV.
Thank you very much.
Can you actually introduce yourself briefly?
First of all, I'm Kayere Mohammed, as introduced by my colleague here, Gabriel, the head coach, the White Kings Football Club, and one of the organizers of the Maseno Soccer League that runs in Maseno Premier League.
Thank you very much for that. And what motivated you actually to join soccer? Is this the Premier League you're talking about? Is it only football or there are other games?
Gabriel, first of all, before we begin the interview, I would wish you give me this at least 1 minute to first of all condone with the family of Jay, who lost his life the other day. He was one of us, one of the members of the MSL. He was a player of one of the clubs in the Maseno Premier League, which was the Elites, the midfield Elites. So as we even carry out this interview, we carried the interview in honor of Jay, one of the midfield maestros in Maseno Premier League. Now back to your question about what motivated me to joining football. First of all, I can say I began my football journey. I'm from a family that has been running football activities so far. My own father was the branch manager Nairobi AFC Football Club. My own brother is also a branch manager AFC Leopards. I'm also fortunate to have played football back in my primary life, my secondary life, and part of my high school, part of my university life before joining the coaching staff at a very young age. Football has been a long journey in me, and it is something I've practiced since a very tender age. And I think I should practice football for the rest of my life because it's passion and something I enjoy doing day in, day out, apart from other things I do for my life.
Thank you very much. According to your explanation, it seems you are an experienced person in sports fraternity. Coming from a family that loves sports, you are the best suited to become a coach. Huh?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us something about the MSL? How did it start?
Maseno Premier League draws its roots back in 2019. It was an idea that was coiled up by some few individuals who were somewhere seated under a tree playing a friendly match. I can't recall the teams very well, but there was a friendly match being conducted on one of the weekends. And we agreed on coming up with a tournament that was to run and try to make the Maseno Premier League, the Maseno teams very active. At that time, we had the likes of teams like College Stars, Venom. We had teams like Elites and Siringisi, of course, the school team Maseno, and some other small teams who are coming up. And we saw it was good to make sure these teams are coming up. We are growing these talents, and we are ensuring that in as much as we are doing academics, there's something that is keeping us busy during weekends, and that was soccer, because at least 70% of people in campus and even outside the world, they love soccer, and soccer brings people together. So we drew a platform where we could begin a tournament, and then some individuals said, because the teams that turned up for a tournament were so many, around 16 teams. So individuals said, at least because the 16 teams are too many, they are good enough to begin a Premier League that at least could run for an entire semester. Yeah. So we came up with a draw. We placed the teams in a Premier League. We looked for software, made the fixtures, went to the department and demanded for acknowledgement. and perhaps facilities in terms of playgrounds.
Which department did you go to?
We went to the sports department,
Alright.
Maseno, and requested for the facilities in terms of playgrounds and perhaps the nets that were supposed to be used in the field. Perhaps football, which we must play with nets. They gave us that mandate to use the football pitches. And here, I think we were good to go. The clubs used to carry out their own trainings, but we only had one requirement from the clubs. Before you join our Premier League, one was only expected to have at least a jersey. So teams went ahead, they contributed their own money, bought jerseys, then they enrolled for the Maseno Premier League. During the first season, the league was running. It was not. There was no award. We were just playing football for the purpose of passion and friendship and so on and so forth, for keeping us busy and so on and so forth. But then after the first season, we realized the league was so serious. We could really see people train hard during evening times, very early on weekends. And the league games were very competitive. The derbies, you could feel college stars playing with Venom. You feel it's a heavy game. You could feel college playing with veterans. It's a very heavy game. That we decided now, because this thing has been very competitive and we never expected that, we opted to go for an award now Premier League time. Now we sat as a group, elected a running body, a confederation here within Maseno. And we decided that we are going to set on an amount that every team will pay as a subscription fee for us to run the MSL. So the first season we subscribed with 1,000 shillings. Each team was coming up with 1,000 shillings. The money was budgeted for all of it. That season the winner was given a jersey. Some were given bibs, some were given cones, facilities, to ensure that they are, we are really motivating them to continue being in the league.
Yeah.
The second time we also did the league. The first season I think Biomed won the Premier League. They were the one who topped the Premier League table. The second time it's veterans who won the league. The third time it is now Cerebral Stars who are now the defending champions of the league. And currently, as we are speaking, I think my team, White Kings, is now sitting on top of the table. We have really missed that league with 2 points, 1 point with a goal. But this time around, we want to make those things very clear as early as possible. So
it's
that
not
win.
over until
It's not over until it's over, but we want to finish it very early as early as possible.
You want to
win
top
the MSL.
game.
Of course, yes, we are topping the league table, and we want to maintain topping until the end of the game.
But the competition seems to be very stiff.
Yeah, of course, the competition is very stiff. The league is having very competitive teams. In fact, there's no weak team in MSL. Every game in MSL is a derby, and that's why you will see fans come to watch games day in, day out. Whether you put a game during the weekdays, you will see fans come to watch the game. Whether you put the games at weekends, when the rain is raining, fans will come to watch the game, because every game in Maseno Premier League is very competitive, and everybody wants to be part and parcel of the Maseno Premier League because of the competition.
It's very competitive, and on that, where do you get the funding?
The funding, actually, I can say 90% of the fundings, we really depend on directly from our pockets. The players, the coaches, the fans, every team has got its own structure, so every team contributes its own money. So the Premier League, Maseno Premier League, mainly depends on the subscription fees that is brought about by the club's registrations. There is no any other source of money that MSL is receiving from any other person apart from the subscriptions that we are getting. Maybe later on we shall receive fundings from other sources, but for now we only depend on the subscriptions that they have their own source of income. But most of them, 90% of the income that those clubs raise to for the subscriptions and running their own activities it depends in their own pockets, and perhaps some goodwill wishers here and there who have been coming to these clubs and helping us so much.
And on that, do you have some sponsors from different organizations?
I'm not sure whether there are clubs who have got sponsors, though there's some deals that are cooking in for sponsorship. I know White Kings is working on one deal. I won't disclose the deal, but it was good to disclose the deal when it is ripe. But there's no club that so far is having a sponsor. They are depending on their own contribution as individuals of the club and well-wishers who can, who raise the cash and run their own activities. But for now, sponsorship in the Premier League MSL, they ain't a club that has got a sponsorship. Though there have been individuals who have been coming to us and helping us money. The likes of Wakanda, the likes of Mues by Kofi. They have been funding some clubs, especially White Kings. the likes of Kina Kipike, the likes of Stacy Erika. They've been coming to us. They've been helping us in our fundraising. Those are the only source you have got some cash from them, but no sponsorship.
Yeah. So is White Kings part of the Maseno school team? And if it is it entitled Aveta for the sports national that are currently ongoing?
I also want you to know that
Yeah.
the school team for the men did not participate in the ongoing Kusa games,
Yeah.
and perhaps they have their own reasons, and maybe the school has got its own reasons as to why they don't. White Kings is just a Premier League club in Maseno. So all the players in White Kings, we have some of our players who play in Siringisi or in the school team Maseno. We have the likes of David, we have the likes of Kina Jamal. They play in the school team, and they are players. So I want responsibilities to have them in the game, make sure they are consistent with the games playing over the weekend, because at the end of the day they have that task to represent the school outside there. We have at least 50% of our players participate in the school team activities as sportsmen.
All right. And on that, are you? If a person wants to join White Kings, what is the process?
Joining White King Football Club is
Yeah.
very simple. We have a structure with us, and we have, number one, we have a scouting team. For a player to join White Kings, it's either number one, our scouts identified you as a potential player that we want in White Kings, or number two, a player has run out of a contract somewhere and he lacks a club. Then we identify that he can be part and parcel of White Kings depending on the weakness we have in the field. Of course, in football you cannot go for a player who you'll come and bench him, or will not come and benefit on the team. So number one, you must be potential, you must be having football ability with you. You will come to us, carry trials with us. Normally registration fees is 200 shillings only to join White Kings Football Club as a player, and that is the money that a player will use. We will only use that money to give you identity as the player of White Kings Football Club, and then the rest shall be part of the family, and anything else happening in White Kings Football Club, you are now part and parcel of the club.
Oh, all right. That is very straightforward process. And on that, we have the SOMO leadership. We have the entertainment and sports segment. How are you working with SOMO?
Over years, I've been working with the sports department and fighting for all sportsmen in Maseno.
Yeah.
But I can say the effects are so minimal yet to be felt. Uh, I won't talk much about what has passed and what has gone
Let's
in the
talk about
past.
the new leadership
Let
that's
us now.
currently in place of the CS Sports, that is Gitch Paul Minor Apollo.
Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, I want to congratulate Gitch Paul Maina for crowning the sports docket part in Maseno University. He's a very good friend of mine since first year. We have interacted with him so much, and he's a friend who consults me so much when it comes to sports docket in Maseno at large.
Yeah.
I believe in him. Many times I've talked with him on many topics. He has come to to the ground to know what is happening with the clubs, what's going on. I'm sure when he gets into office immediately after induction, we are yet to see changes in Maseno sports at a whole. I want to promise the sports people that I'm sure and I believe in the competence of Gitch. He will really deliver to us what we want with him, because he's keeping people who are on board on the sports ground, and that will be a very positive impact on sports in Maseno. I wish he just delivers the way most of us think about that.
Yeah, so you are now telling us that Maseno University is going to regain its lost glory as far as sports is concerned.
Yeah, I'm sure. I believe in Gitch and in his aspects of leadership and what he has to deliver to the comrades. I really believe in him.
You really believe in him. And as per now, what is ailing Maseno University sports fraternity?
The only thing ailing with Maseno Sports Fraternity, number one, I can say Maseno has got talents. Talents in Maseno. Maseno has got talents. Maseno is even capable of producing even 4 school teams. He can produce school team A, school team B, school team C, and school team D, and all of them go into a competition and win the competitions. Maseno has got talents across athletics, across badmintons, indoor games, all of those things. Basketball, American football, I saw the other day was introduced.
Yeah, it was launched the other day. American football.
My friends are also participating in American football. Maseno has got talents, really so much, many of the talents. The only thing that is ailing Maseno sports is poor investments in the sports. I wish that at least we could have one person or two people who can come up with a strategy of heavily investing in the sports in Maseno.
There
Maseno
is
can
a lack of money. There's
I,
no money.
I can say funding in Maseno sports is very poor.
Very poor.
Very poor. That
So if Maseno sports fraternity gets money, we will go places.
I think we will go places for sure.
Yeah.
If we get training equipments, all the things that sportsmen need, we can produce one of the best in Maseno.
So are the sportsmen and women being paid after participating in all those games?
Of course, I can say Maseno has produced some few individuals who are being paid outside here.
Yeah.
If you can remember Kiche, the player who used to play in Siringisi, he finished school the other day. My friend Phil is now playing at Tusker. We wish him all the best as he embark on his new endeavors in Tusker Premier League club. Tusker is playing
that's
Premier
nice.
League club.
Congratulations.
We have also some other players who have joined so many networks outside there. We have players from rugby who have joined clubs outside there, playing for Mwamba, playing for KKCB, and so on and so forth. So I think most of them are being paid money outside there. But for Maseno here, the only people who are at least they are paid allowances are those people who are playing in the school teams. At least they receive allowances when they go out to play. Perhaps football men, women, they get allowances when they go to play. But for those sportsmen who are participating internally here and then don't get that chance or to participate in the school teams, they don't really get that allowance. They do that for passion and maybe for a dream.
For a dream. So if you want to get paid and get some allowances, you must join the school team.
Of course, yes.
Oh, that's fine. And your last remarks concerning football fraternity in Maseno University.
I want to say football in Maseno University has been one of the factor that has helped to curb some of the things comrades do when they are very free in their hostels and in their rooms. Over the weekends, you'll find comrades at the back streets, smoking bang, drunkard in clubs, and so on and so forth, in rooms, fornicating. But I can say football has really played a major role in trying to curb this menace in Maseno. Because during the weekend, since morning to evening, you'll find people watching football in these football pitches. You'll find these players, they're either playing football or they're either in the training sessions in the evening. And one rule with soccer is either you do drugs, you forget about soccer. You don't do drugs, you go with soccer, with the places with soccer. So I think football has played a major role in Maseno, bringing up the comradeship spirit in them. And I think it is going to continue instilling in them. How we wish we get support from the administration and from any other well-wish outside there who may wish to invest in Maseno Premier League. We are calling upon them to come and join with us so that we can make these players, at least as they play football for passion and as they play football for a dream of one day, let us also appreciate them and tell them we got talents and you can take these talents at least places.
Yeah, and before I finish, let's talk something about the Kusa Nationals that are currently happening in Taita Taveta University. What's your take on those games?
Kusa, during the Kusa games, I was the head coach, the school team girls during that particular time. And I can say we participated in the Wekusa games very well. We won all the games in Wekusa. I can remember we managed to beat Great Star University. We also outdid Tomboya, and we won the finals here. They were played here in Maseno, and that is when our girls qualified to go to the Taita Taveta Kusa games. There are also other teams who are participating in the Kusa games in Taita Taveta. But I would really wish I could talk on football girls. We have really come from places, and I think as they travel to Taveta, I wish them a nice journey as they travel there. And as we have always did, they will bring championship to Maseno. We are going to be champions. I know they are prepared very well. My friend there, Coach Muhando, has gone with them to Taveta. He's a good coach, tactical. So I think if we play our cards very well, we can be able to win that.
Maseno will emerge victorious.
The competition in the universities is not very much stiff, comparing how the games have been going on very well. But we will expect to face competition maybe from Moost and from Moost, Kenyatta, because they have well structures in terms of sports. They are well organized. They have coaches. They have good staffs. So I expect they will give us a tough competition. But at the end of the day, soccer goes with what you can do and how luck has come upon you. But while we pray, luck will be with us, and we will be able to emerge winners of the Kusa games that are happening in Taita Taveta.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best as you head the White Kings.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And that has been the head coach of White Kings, where we have talked a number of issues concerning sports fraternity in Maseno University. Make sure you watch.